Hello! Welcome to Thirsty Thursday. I always sing the intro to Thirsty Thursday. But I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so freaking excited to talk about this particular topic because I hear all of these things over and over and over and over again, and I totally understand where it's coming from. So I want to dig into this topic, the I'm not there yet, I'm not ready yet thing. So, I'm so excited. Let me get everything pulled up so I can see who's watching. Crystal, happy Thursday. Thank you. Okay. Say hi when you're here so that I know that you're here. Talk to me. Ooh, 2 crystals, how fun. And Heather and Debbie, I'm so glad y'all are here. So, like I just said, this is the thing that I hear the most often is I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to focus on building my brand. I'm not ready to focus on my business. I'm not ready to pay any money because I'm just not there yet. That's what I hear constantly over and over again. So I felt like that would be a really good thing to talk about today since so many of us, especially in this group, are feeling like that. So I'm just going to cut straight to it. Thirsty Thursdays are like all about quick answers, okay? So for those of us that are like super impatient, I'm just going to tell you, if you think you're not ready for branding, branding is the answer. If you think you're not there yet for branding is probably the one thing that you need to get you there. So that's your answer. If you want to just like peace out now and you're like, oh, light bulb, that makes sense, feel free to go. That's the end. If you want to know like what the hell I'm talking about, stick around because this is like the core of everything right here. Branding is the core of everything. So got my Michelob Ultra for Thirsty Thursday. If anybody is hanging out with me and has a drink for Thirsty Thursday, let me know. It's a little weird. It's only 4 o'clock here. Usually I do these later, but I got a friend date tonight, so I'm excited for that. Okay, and comment. Yes, always comment and let me know where you're at. Jasmine, hi. Yes, I never feel ready. And that's a really good point too, Crystal. And that's like something I want to bring up while we're talking about this today because in reality, no one is ever ready. No one is ever ready for anything. It's like they always say about having a kid, which I don't have kids, so I totally like understand it, but obviously I haven't been there. People always say like you'll never be ready for a kid. Like it just happens and then it happens. You're never ready, right? It's kind of like that. So, okay. So the first thing I want to dig into, Coke Zero. Hey, I got Coke Zero in the fridge too. It is still early for you too, Crystal. You guys are way over there. Okay. So this is like the main point of what I want to make today is that branding is literally everything that you do. Every single piece of your business is part of your brand. So what I mean by that is every time you post something on social media, every time you talk to a potential client or talk to anyone that follows you online, every time you show up and do literally anything, whether you're trying to sell them something or not, you are building your brand. You are showing up and you are teaching whoever it is that's looking at it or reading it how to perceive you and how to, interact with you and what it would be like to work with you eventually. So where I hear this the most is when people have like this kick-ass idea. Like I have something that's so good to share. Like I want to, I'm going to change the world. And like every single client that I work with, that's totally true. Like their business ideas are so good and they're so good at what they do, but they feel like they're not there yet because they like don't have all the pieces in place, right? Like I just need to find a couple more clients and like test my idea and validate my idea and make sure it's good. Or I just need to make a little money first so that I can, test it all out. All of that stuff is going on in our heads before we're ever thinking like I need to invest money in my business, right? But in the meantime, while we're thinking that, we still want to show up, right? Like we're still trying. We're still showing up on Instagram and posting in Facebook groups and just trying to build an audience so that when we are ready, we have people there, right? But what that missing piece is that we're not thinking about it from this other side of it where we are already building that brand, whether we think we are or not. So Literally every single thing that we do comes back to branding. Social media, sales processes that were like how you show up and sell to somebody is part of your brand, right? Like think about all of the people that you follow and that you like to follow. You get a different feel about their sales from all of them, right? One of the examples that I really like is Amanda Francis, because her sales process is so different than most other people's, right? She shows up like eating cheeseburgers on live videos and is like, hey, buy my thing, right? And people love it. People go crazy and people buy all of her things. Whereas other people like have hardcore webinar strategies and that like that's what they do. And they show up and they do webinars and people buy from them there. Their sales processes are totally different, right? But you get a feel for who they are and you know like what it would be like to work with them and how they interact with people because of that, right? So it really comes back to your brand, because when you're building your brand, that's where you're making all those decisions. That's where you dig into all of those things and figure out how you want to show up. And that's the part most people skip, like making the conscious decision and being really intentional about how you actually want to show up and how you want people to perceive you. That's what branding is. And that's what gets you unstuck from all of these questions that are going through our head. So everything that's posted up in here in the description, like I'm all over the place. It's hard to pick a path. I'm in the middle of shifting from one thing to another thing. I don't even know what I'm passionate about. I need to pick my niche a little bit further. All of those answers come from the branding process. So the obvious hang up here is that there's not a clear definition anywhere of what branding is. I think especially when we first start our businesses, most people's, when you think the word branding, you think, okay, logos and fonts and websites and colors and all that, the pretty stuff, right? That's like our initial gut reaction when we hear the word branding. So I think a lot of times, again, especially when we're starting out, not understanding what this process is makes it really hard to know that that's the answer, right? You don't know what you don't know. So that's my goal. Like that's what I try to do with all of my stuff, is teach you guys what the actual process of branding is, because 99.99999% of the time, it is the answer to getting you unstuck. It's the answer to getting you past all of those things to help you decide what your niche is and decide which path you want to take and decide who you want to work with and how you want to show up. That's what it is. Like I told you at the very beginning, branding is the answer. If you think you're stuck, build your brand instead of the other way around. So I think, again, it comes from like not really knowing the difference between logos and fonts and website design and branding. So if you're there, like it's nothing to feel bad about. Like, if you think branding is just logos and colors and stuff, that's okay. You don't know what you don't know. But now that you do know, this is where I really encourage you to dig into answering all of these questions, going through a branding process, whether it's mine, hint, hint, Brand Boldly Live, doors are open right now, this is exactly what we're doing, or whether it's somewhere else, or if you're not, able to financially invest yet, whatever it is, but doing some kind of branding work is what's going to get you unstuck. Just know that that is the most important thing to take away from this. Do the work to build your brand, and that's what will get you unstuck. You have to take the action to get the clarity. So, rant over. Let me read comments. Tell me if this is like, if there's any aha moments here, or tell me what you like. What does branding mean to you? I ask that question all the time. I'm never gonna stop asking it. You have to answer it even to get into this group. But like, what does branding mean to you right now? Now that I've already told you it's not just logos and fonts, but really ask yourself that, and ask yourself, like, is the way that you're showing up right now actually what you want to be perceived as? Like, how people are viewing you based on everything that you put out there. Is that really what you want? And that's kind of the first part of this whole process, is figure out what the hell you want. But okay, I'm gonna read my comments. Okay, Crystal's getting her drink. Kayla, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm so glad you're here. Christy, I'm gonna try a grapefruit radler. Huh, never heard of that. I don't know what a radler is. Is that a Canadian thing? It might be a Canadian thing. Caitlin, hi. Okay, and Amy and Jessica, so glad you're here. So now that we're a little bit more clear on the branding process is the answer, I want to share with you guys like what an actual branding process looks like. And of course, this is mine. Everybody does things a little bit differently, but these are the basics. Like this is the foundational pieces of how to build a brand so that you can actually show up the way that you want to show up, right? Crystal, it means attracting the right people based on my authentic personality and value. Yes! Yes, I love that part too, especially about attracting the right people, because you guys have heard me say this probably if you've been around for more than 2 minutes. That was my biggest struggle, was attracting the wrong type of people. I had my business up, I was getting clients, but they were the totally wrong kind of clients that I hated working with. And this was like when I was doing graphic design. I got sucked into oil and gas world of graphic design, which is the most effing boring thing you could possibly do. So, yes, I love that answer. Okay, so this is what a branding process is supposed to look like. The very, very first thing you want to do is start with you. We have this tendency to think that we need to start with, what are we going to do? What are we going to sell? What are we going to deliver? What are our clients going to get out of it? How are we going to help people? That's like where most people start, right? That's where I started. I was like, I'm going to do graphic design. That's what my brand is. I'm going to do graphic design and I'm going to help people put up their websites and make logos. That's how I started. So the reverse is true in the branding process. That is what comes absolutely last, because we cannot do that effectively until we're clear on all the other pieces that come before it, right? Hence, these are the things to do to get unstuck. So the first part is just focus on you. Like, what do you actually want? What do you want out of your business? Why are you even creating it in the first place? Like, if you don't, and really what you don't want too, that's just as big a part of it. Like for me, I did not want to do cold calls. Like I refuse to reach out to people who have no idea who I am and ask them to work with me. Like that just feels really gross to me. So that's a huge thing about me that I need to know before I go building my business and using that as a strategy, because that's what other people do, right? So understand what you don't want and understand what you do want. Like, I want clients to come to me. I want stuff to be like super simple, super automated. So all I have to do is show up, do my thing, and have clients come to me. That's what I want out of my business, right? Starting with that and understanding those goals is the only way that you're going to have that in the end, right? Sorry, I have the hiccups. That's the only way you're going to have that in the end, is if you plan for it. So unless you're like putting into action a plan to get somewhere, chances are very slim that you're going to end up where you want to be at the end, unless you've thought about it beforehand, right? I'm huge on setting goals and making plans, sometimes like to the extreme where I stay stuck there. But you're not going to get where you want to go unless you know where you want to go and you make a plan to get there, right? Does that make sense? Tell me if that makes sense. I love your communication style. Thanks, Crystal. I've seen so many branding offers and I just keep coming back to you because you don't BS. Hell yeah. No BS. That's me. I love it. Rattlers are like beer juice. I'll drink gin straight, but beer no. I got the hang of it. It needed to be fruity. I like the fruity stuff too, but not in beer. Like, I don't like any of the fruity beers. I do like, well, I say that. I like the apple, like the apple ales, the cider beers. Those are okay. But anything else, there's this local brewery here, and they have a blueberry beer, and it's nasty. It's nasty. Crystal, that's literally where I am. Okay, cool. Allison, hello. Okay, so that's the first part. Step 1, start with you. Figure out what your goals are. You can't get there if you don't know where you want to be. Second thing, then you dig into your actual industry. Like, what type of work do you want to do? And this still isn't like what I'm actually going to deliver. This is the industry as a whole. So for me, I knew like design and branding. That's enough. Health and fitness is an industry, right? Online coaching, online business is an industry. Keeping it that vague for this second step, that's what we want to do, because that's where we can really dig into all the stuff we talked about in step 1 about us and tie it into our industry and figure out what it is about us that makes us different. How do we stand out in this world? That's the second piece we got to know before we can ever offer them anything. Because when we're building a brand, we aren't selling our thing. People can learn the thing, whatever the thing is, from anyone. People can go on YouTube. People can Google the shit out of things. Like, the internet is this huge magical place full of all this information. People don't buy the thing because of the thing. They buy the thing because of you, right? Just like Crystal just said in this comment, like, she likes the way I present the information, right? It's not the information that's like huge and revolutionary. It is sometimes if you like didn't know it at all before, but in reality, it's how you deliver the information and how you communicate with your audience and your style and your perspective and your experiences that make you different. So you have to dig into that part first, because you can't talk about your offer. Again, we're not to our offer yet, because if we try to talk about our offer right now before we know all the answers to what makes us different, we're going to sound exactly like everyone else. We're going to say, buy this health and fitness program so you know how to make recipes and be healthy. Like, how effing boring is that? And that's what everyone says, that you can't stand out until you know what makes you stand out. So that's the second part of the branding process, is digging in and figuring those things out, getting the answers to those questions. My brand archetype quiz is like step one for that. If you haven't taken that, it's gold. It's like my favorite thing in the entire world. But that part of figuring out what makes you different. So that's step two. Once you can do that, then you move on to the next step. It's like I do it like a little pyramid when I teach it in Brand Boldly Live. It's like, okay, this is the foundation, then this, then this. Actually, I think it's the other way. I think I do it like a funnel upside down. Either way, there's levels, and you can't go to the next one until you've mastered the one above it. Just like anything else in life, we have to go in order to do the things the right way. So, whoa, total aha. I love it, Kayla. I'm so glad. So that was two. Start with you as one, then focus on your industry and your business as a whole, what's going to make you stand out. Number three, then you move on to your clients. Then we start talking about who I want to talk to and how to speak their language and how to get in their head and how to make them understand what we do, right? But there's even a first part of that. Like, before we dig into all that, we need to decide who we actually want to work with. That's the core of that piece that most people skip. You can find 80 bajillion ideal client trainings online. Like, people beat this shit over your head. Like, ideal client, you have to know this. And you do, it's true. But people usually skip the part about who the hell do I even want to work with? That's where I got sucked in. Like, oh, I can make money with these clients. I can show up and do this for this type of person, and I can make money doing it. So I'm going to do that. And then you end up hating life and working with people that don't understand you and don't value your work. And yeah, you're just miserable all the freaking time. It's not worth it. So, going back a step, first figure out, who do you want to work with? Who is like super exciting to show up every day? And this is like so huge for me. I brag about this all the time because I love talking to my clients. I had 2 client calls yesterday, 2 one-on-one client calls, and it was like, I don't want to be done. Like, I want to stay and just talk to them forever because it's so good. They're the type of person, they have the type of business that I absolutely love engaging with. That's the only people you want to work with. So then when you get to the next part of this, those are the only people you're trying to talk to. Knowing who you want tells you how to talk to them, right? I can say things like, in my copy, I can say things like, I know who you are. You are a goal getter, right? Like, you take the initiative. You don't stay stuck. You don't play the victim. Those are qualifiers. So if people are not that person, they're not going to listen to me, and it just weeds them out right away. And then you put in the other stuff. Then you make sure you're saying things in the way that they understand them and making sure they get it and making sure they know why you're different. Building on those other 2 pieces we have. So you got to focus on you first. I feel like there's like this stigma where we feel like shitty people if we say that we have a business to make money or we have a business because we like it. It's like we're supposed to say we're helping people and supposed to say we're like changing the world and doing all these magical, amazing things. But it's both. It's allowed to be both. And it doesn't, you should not feel bad about wanting to be happy about your business, right? It should be exciting to you. That's the baseline. Everything else goes from there. So that's number 3. Yay! Let me read comments. I totally just spilled beer down my face. I promise you guys I'm not drunk. I have like this much. Okay, I want my own archetype quiz to offer. They're so fun. Quizzes are so fun. And we're going to get into all that stuff, Jasmine. So Jasmine is in Brand Boldly Live already. She signed the heck up because it's going to be so good. Crystal, music, anime, gaming, social media, and marketing. Those are your industries. Too many, maybe the umbrella term entertainment. Yeah, entertainment would be a good thing to go with step 2. Like, things that people want to be a part of. Like, your ideal clients are interested in those things, so that's the industry. So you want to dig into, like, who you are, what makes you different in terms of all the other people in that same industry. That's what I would focus on there. Hello, Allison. Debbie says, just today my personal coach told me to look at myself and figure out what makes me tick. Yeah, I feel like this is on par with that. Lots of soul searching. Yeah, it is. This core piece, and I think that's what like gets most people stuck, is you don't usually think of branding when you think of like the deep soul searching stuff, but that's the only way you're going to get a good brand. That's the only way that you're going to be able to create those powerful emotional connections with your ideal clients that has them like super pumped up to buy things from you. You have to do this deep soul searching work first, right? So Linnell, hello. Yes, a stigma to making money. Yeah, we want to like totally ditch that around here. This is gold. I love it, Kayla. I want to not have to worry about my rent so I can be excited about doing the work I love. Exactly. Just that freedom piece, right? Like, people say freedom all the time online, so I don't use it a lot because I feel like it's overused, but that's really what it is, right? It's not like being able to drop everything and like jet off across the world to Italy in a moment's notice. It doesn't have to be like that. Freedom for me is like, I can go walk my dogs around the block any freaking time I want to. I don't have to sit in an ugly gray cube all day like I used to. I don't have to work with clients that I don't like. I have the freedom to choose which clients I actually like working with and want to work with, because I'm not so stressed about money that I'll just take anything. That's what freedom is for me. I'm never going to be the drop everything and fly across the world person. Like, I'm too big of a planner for that. But you get to decide what that freedom looks like. You get to decide what it means for you and create that plan to get there. Cool? Crystal, got it. I love it. Okay, so first you, then your industry, then your clients, then we move on to your offer. Only then can we talk about your offer in a way that's really powerful and has the right people understanding the value and seeing the value and, digging, like, ready to say yes, because they're just like, hell yeah, oh my gosh, I need this. This person's so different from everyone else. I resonate so hard with their style. I love watching them, listening to them, whatever it is. They create that connection with you, right? So once you do that, then you can talk about the offer. Then you can sell them anything as long as it's still related to your industry, because they're going to resonate with you. That's the goal. And that's what that branding process allows us to do. So let's go back, like, again, all these questions at the beginning. Like, I have to niche down a little further. This is the answer to doing that, right? Like, it's not, I'm going to wait to focus on my brand until I've niched down further. It's, I'm going to focus on my brand so that I can niche down further, right? Does that make sense? And this is like, honestly, the opposite of what people initially think branding is. So that's the purpose of this video that I want to make super, super, super clear. Like, I feel like I'm all over the place, so I can't invest money in building a brand right now. When in reality, it's building a brand right now, thinking through these things, making these decisions are what is going to make me feel not all over the place and give me clear direction and give me focus and give me clarity and give me confidence to get out and do all of the amazing things that I know I want to do. So branding is the answer. I said that at the very, very beginning of the video. Branding is the answer. So those are the 4 steps. That's how you get to the offer part. That's how you make people realize you're different, how you stand out, how you bring in the right kind of clients. If you're working with me, if you're working in Brand Boldly Live, I even take it one step further, like how to automate the shit out of it so that literally all I do is show up on my live videos, show up and comment on my posts, and I just have like ideal clients coming to me. I'm building them into my list, building them into my Facebook group, My job now is to show up. I don't spend time hunting down clients anymore. I don't like stalk people on Instagram and stalk people in Facebook groups and like, oh, this would be an ideal client. I need to reach out to them. I did that at the beginning before I had an audience, but I knew this was my goal. My goal is to automate the shit out of this process so that by the time I get on the phone with somebody and they reach out and say that they're interested, they already know who I am. They already love my style because they've seen me on here. And it really just becomes a matter of logistics. Like, that's all I want it to be by the time we get on the phone. Like, what final questions do you have and how do I pay? Because I've given them everything they need to know to make the decision. So that's what it looks like with me. So we add that fifth step of automate the shit out of that know, like, trust factor and have them totally ready to say yes. That is the core of Brand Boldly Live. Like, if you haven't seen me talking about that yet, like, that's all I've been talking about online because the doors are open right now. Early bird ends tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day to get in and save $500. Like, I don't know any early bird prices that are, like, it's a third of the program. Right now it's $9.97. It's going to go up to $14.97. You're literally saving a third of the price, but that ends tomorrow. So all of this stuff that we've been talking about today, that's what Brand Boldly Live is. That's where we start. Only once we've gotten through those pieces and mastered those pieces, then we go implement the things. And that's what the second half of Brand Boldly Live is. Not only are we going to figure it all out and get super clear on all this stuff, we're going to go implement the shit out of it. We're going to not hoard the information like when we take 1,000,000 courses like I did and just sit there and have this knowledge and never go out and apply it. We are going to apply it inside the program while you're there so that you can get feedback real time, figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work, figure out what you thought you would like doing but you really hate doing, and get feedback from me and the rest of the group like as you go. Isn't that like so much more helpful than like learning the things and then the course is over and then you go apply it and you're like, shit, this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? I don't have anyone to ask for feedback. I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have anybody going through it with me that's at the same level. That's what this program is. Like, the first half, everything I've been talking about today. The second half, go out and actually fucking do it. Take the action, do the work, and that's the only way that you're going to see results. So that's a huge part of my story too, is that I sat in my cube for 5 years planning this business and never actually did anything. I just made 80 bajillion spreadsheets about what my plans were and never did them. So that's what I want to make sure, like, doesn't happen to anyone else. Like, go out, actually apply them, take the action, and that's the only way that you're going to see results. So it's my Brand Boldly Live spiel. I'll put in the link in here. You can sign up, like, directly on the website. You just sign up and then you're in. That's all you have to do. There's so much shit to do in there right now. There's orientation materials. We're going to have a bonus extra call as long as you're in by next Wednesday. You get access to that. There's mini courses available right now. There's stuff to start on. And you get access to the Facebook group right now. So you can post anything you want in this group and get feedback on literally anything you're doing at any time. That's huge. You can't get that from, like, that alone is worth more than the price of the program, honestly. Just being able to get that real-time feedback on everything. So we have a few people here that are already in. Debbie's already in, and Jasmine's already in, and one of the Crystals is already in. Crystal number 2, if you want in, I would love to have you in there too. So I'll go ahead and put the link in. All the details you need to know are there about step-by-step what we go through. But if you have any questions at all, just message me, comment, message me, email me. I don't care. Obviously, I'm totally an open book. I'll tell you whatever. Give you whatever answers you need. But don't stay stuck because of all of these things that are listed out in the description of this video. If you're stuck there, this is the answer. Cool? And even if it's like not the right time for Brand Boldly Live, branding is still the answer. Figure out what you can do in the meantime to get there, to get unstuck. If it's YouTube, cool. If it's somebody else's like super cheap program, cool. Whatever it is, do something to get unstuck because now you know what the answer is, right? If Brand Boldly Live is not the right time, or if you don't like that I, ramble and talk really loud and drink beer on camera, whatever it is, now you know building a brand first is the answer. What are you going to do to get there? What are you going to do to take the action right now to get the answers to all of these questions keeping you stuck? Cool? Yay, Debbie, I'm a little obsessed. Oh yeah, Debbie, like we talked yesterday, and Debbie's like all in the homework. It's awesome. I'm so excited. Crystal, yes, the feedback that happens in the group is phenomenal. Thank you, Crystal. I'm so glad. And it's not just me, right? It's everyone else in there too. And this time there's more people than last time, so it's going to be even better. And yeah, it's gold. It's gold. Like I said, I bring in all the best people. I love hanging out with my clients. I could talk to them all day, every day. So you're going to get those type of people giving you feedback on your stuff too, in addition to me, right? I'm just wondering if I should do BBL or head to the one-on-one because of time constraints. I love that question. I'll take that question all day long. Crystal, let's chat. You can shoot me a message. Basically, what the difference is one-on-one is we have weekly calls, and you still, as a one-on-one client, you get access to every single thing that I launched while you're a one-on-one client. So if you do one-on-one, you also get to come in Brand Boldly Live anyway. So one of my one-on-one clients is doing that. She's in Brand Boldly Live, and we do one-on-one. So it's just that additional support. It's getting weekly calls, weekly one-on-one calls, in addition to all the group calls and all of those foundational pieces. So I would love to talk about that. You can shoot me a message or email me or whatever you want to do, Crystal, but let's chat about that. I would love to talk to you. Christy, all of those things making my spirit animal. I love it. You get both in BBL. Yep, you do get both. Love it, Allison. Cool. Yeah, so let me know literally any questions. Like I said, I'm obviously an open book. I will never try to convince anybody to do anything that doesn't feel right because, selfishly, if it's not right for you, I don't want you in there. You're not going to add value to my group if I have to push you in there, right? So I only want you in if it feels like the best decision ever. So reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I'll put the link in the sales page here, and you can check it all out. There's so much good stuff that I haven't even talked about in there. There's 5 mini courses that you get that you can start on right now. There's 5 kick-ass guest experts that I freaking love. We talk about like money, like an accountant, Megan the accountant, and Instagram stuff, and like messaging stuff, and visibility stuff, and what's the last one? Oh, Amber is going to talk about like storytelling and incorporating that. All these amazing things. Go check out that sales page because there's so much more that I didn't even have time to cover in this video. So excited to show up and do these videos and have you guys here live. If you're watching the replay too, still comment on the replay. Let me know how you're liking this stuff. And I love all of you. Thank you so much. And reach out. If you have questions, stop staying stuck. Stop staying stuck. Ask questions if you think it might be right. Cool? I will see you all later. Enjoy your beer if it was still too early for you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.